I just wanted to come out and give you a little bit more of an update on this bike. It is a 2016 Indian Chieftain. In the front here you can see the old school design of the front fender, typical Indian style. I will tell you that this windshield does go up and down electronically. Here's your horn and your lights, and the signals are all on the left side here. If you want your left signal to go on, you push this to the left. If you want your right signal to go on, you push this to the right. So it's a little bit different than the Harley. The Harley has the signals on both handlebars. And I believe these controls down here are for the radio, volume and channel selection and so forth. You got your standard gauges on the on the fairing, RPMs and miles per hour. Okay, your cruise control is over here. This is the kill switch, and if you want to start this baby up, you press this button here, and this brings up the electronic fuel control, and then you come over here and hit this switch here very quickly, and the bike starts right up. Throttle is fly-by-wire, and the clutch is I believe it's just a standard cable clutch. I don't believe it's a hydraulic. 6-gallon tank, 6-speed transmission with the heel-toe shifter down here. I found that shifting the bike was a bit I don't know, it was a bit luggy. The suspension, the rear suspension on the bike was excellent. I found the bike to be very, very comfortable. I like these bags on the back here. They've got the Indian flair on the back. A very, very comfortable riding experience on the way up on the highway. Anyway, the other side of the bike, I'm not going to get into all the details on the engine. Quite honestly, I don't know that much about it, but I will say that up at the Daytona Bike Week last year, I did see a cutaway of this engine, and the gear-to-gear transmission is very impressive. I gotta believe it's a strong design on this motor. If you see the cutaway, if you have a chance to see that, I think you'll get an impression that is very favorable. Overall, it's a beautiful bike. I think one of the things about this Indian Chieftain is the aesthetic appearance of this bike. This particular one here is a nice red color, red and black, which is always nice on any bike, to be quite honest. It doesn't matter whether it's a Harley or an Indian or anything else. The red and black combo is always nice. You know, as I say, I do think that one of the strong points on this bike is the appearance of it. It's a very, very attractive looking bike, and the engine design of that 111 power plant is probably another thing that's a high point of this bike. If you guys ever have an opportunity to ride one of these babies, I strongly suggest that you check it out, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Take care, guys. I just thought that we'd end this trip up with something cool. I know that there's a lot of Harley owners out there who have never ridden an Indian before, and I know I was one of them.
And me too.
And so today we have my good buddy Scott, and Scott is the owner of a 2019 CVO Road Glide, and he's been riding this bike, and he's going to give us a little bit of perspective. I thought that would be cool. Instead of me doing it, I thought it'd be cool if Scott told us what he thought about this Indian motorcycle. We're going to go ahead and start up in the front.
You know, the overall perspective I had on this bike is I really like it. It's a fun running bike. It's fun to ride. It's a little bit old school, but it's still very fun. I think the fender's actually, it's grown on me. I didn't like it at first, but I really like it, along with the front Indian emblem. Moving back to the fairing, I do like the fairing a lot. It covers up a lot of the wind. One of the things I wish that maybe Harley would do, not to always compare it against Harley, but is have the adjustable windshield. For me, while I'm doing my long travels, I do switch around a lot on the bike and move forward and backwards and put my feet back and forward and the highway pegs, and that changes the height of my head. And on this, I could change the windshield up and down with just a touch of the button, which I thought was really neat.
That is a good point.
But it did an excellent job blocking the wind. It made it feel you didn't have to have 4 different windshields depending on what you were going to do that day.
So moving around to the interfering,
much like a street glide, the fairing actually is holding the speakers. The speakers are pretty much ear level, so you can hear them very nicely going down the road. Sound like they're pretty good speakers. I'd say the stereo quality was very good on it. It is a little. We did notice this thing has about 30,000 miles on it. There's a little rattle up in the fairing somewhere. We can't quite figure it out, but still, nice fairing. I don't know if these are stock bars or not, but if they are, they're nice. I'd say they fit me real good. The height is fine. It's about probably a 10 or a 12 inch compared to a street glide type height. A little wide, but not bad. I'm only 5'8", and my arms fit around them just nice. We did, about 250 miles yesterday on it, and it felt good.
Well, how about the 111 engine? What do you think of that gear-to-gear, no chain?
Yeah, I did notice it does have a lot of low-end torque. It really pulls really nice on the low end. I'd say it's probably not as snappy as the 107 on the Harley, but it's still a nice bike. Very smooth. 2,500 RPM going 65, 70. It has a slight vibration to it, but I don't know if they've changed motor mounts after 30,000 miles or not, or where that's at. So who knows? Cosmetically, I'm not real fond of the heads of it, but that'd be your own personal preference. I like the stock Harley seat a little bit better. Some of the stitching through here actually rubs on my legs a little bit, but other than that, it was a nice seat.
How about the bags?
I like the bags. I like the bags a lot. They stay shut. They open with just a push of the button. We got 2 helmets in this one. They auto lock just with your key fob, and they shut very nicely and they open very nicely. But overall, nice bike. I like it.
Overall, a nice bike, and all you Indian lovers out there, we all can certainly understand, why it is that you love the Indian motorcycle.